Have you ever stared at a piece of code and wonder which idiot wrote this, only to find out that it was you from a month ago? I got to admit that I've done that before, and video today I'm going all the way back to not just 1 month ago, but 10 years ago to review the very first app I created all by myself, and hopefully I won't cringe too much. So, you can see this is a diet monitoring app that keeps track of the calorie and macronutrients that you have eaten for the day. You know, my initial plan was to briefly run through how the app works so that we can get to the coding part. But now that I look at it, I realize the UI is so terrible. I feel that there is enough crap in the UI to fill the entire video content. Firstly, I think I probably didn't use any UI library back then. All the elements just looks like rectangular boxes. And these three icons, are they even icons? They are just three randomly sourced images, all in different sizes. And on just this page alone, I already noticed 5 font colors and 7 font sizes. That's a UI disaster. Here you can add what you have eaten. There's this speech icon here, and this is where the intelligent sensing comes in. Let me show you. Apple. Okay, so it's basically just a speech recognition Google API that returns whatever I have just said, so I don't have to type it in. Really intelligent, right? Okay, so I can click onto it and it will make an API call to fetch the nutrients of this item. And nothing happened. Okay, let's try typing. Okay. I think it breaks. Okay, I'm not surprised since it has been 10 years. But no worries, I have a screenshot from 10 years ago when it was still working. The API returns a list of food that match the keyword. You can select the correct one, adjust the portion, and add them to your calorie diary. Finally, we can take a look at my 10-year-old code. I pasted the code for searching nutrients into ChatGPT, and let's see what her comments are.
Logging errors without informing the user? Fantastic. Let's keep them clueless while things crash behind the scenes. Because who needs transparency, right?
Let me give you a bit of context. This is the part where ChatGPT commented. Basically, I send a HTTP request to get food data, and if it's successful, I process the data. If not, I log it, and if there's an exception, I log it as well. The issue here is that when an error happens, we should show an error message to the user so they wouldn't be left hanging. But I didn't. I think it was because at the very beginning when I first started designing the app, I only focused on the happy path and didn't think about the unhappy path, where exceptions, access issue, or timeout issues occurs, which are equally important as the happy path. But wait, I think I copied this part from a YouTube tutorial. That means that tutorial didn't do error handling. So if you are the middle-aged bro guy teaching Android app development on YouTube 10 years ago, please update your tutorial.
Replacing spaces with cent20 manually? Revolutionary. Who needs URL encoder when you can create a masterpiece of bugs and headaches all by yourself? Bravo.
So here is the part of the code that the comments refer to. In this section, I need to send the food selected by the user by attaching it to the URL. And URLs have a specific set of rules about which characters are allowed and how they should be formatted. The best way to do so is to use the URL encoder function in each language library. But I didn't know about all these URL encoding and libraries back then. So I wrote a while loop to manually update the space to %20.
Oh my god.
Skipping permissions checks? Bold move. Let's see if the Play Store decides to kick you out or just applaud your daring spirit.
This is the part where the comments are. So right here, when the user clicks on the speech button, I turn on the microphone and I didn't ask for user permission beforehand, which is against the Play Store policy. But if you think about it, if you plan to use speech to text, you definitely need to use the microphone, right? So why take the extra steps to ask for permission? I believe the younger me skip it for a better user experience.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
And variables like objadapter, check, and lalala stick to meaningful names.
Okay, I really can't think of why I used lalala as a variable name back then. The only logical explanation I can think of is object JSON 1 is la, object JSON 2 is lala, so object JSON 3 is lalala. Sounds logical.
Then what's object JSON 0?
Jokes aside, it's important to give your variables meaningful names so your teammates can understand your code.
One glance at this code, and you'll see it looks like someone threw spaghetti at the wall and is now watching it slowly slide down.
Okay, I just asked ChatGPT to comment on the architecture of this project, although I will say there isn't any architecture structure here. Basically, when I first started, I didn't know anything about architecture, so you can see that the business logic, front end and back end are all coded inside the app. This is very dangerous as people can easily reverse engineer my APK file and laugh at my code. Oh wait, I mean they get to access my business logic and sensitive info. It's fun to look back at the first app I made 10 years ago. Despite many mistakes, I'm proud I started this coding journey without a CS degree. I built the app in 3 weeks solely using YouTube tutorials. Looking back at the mistake I made, I can't help but wonder, what if I had used a code learning platform that focused on hands-on coding and industry standards? It could have helped me avoid all these pitfalls and accelerated my progress when I was still a beginner. Wait, isn't that Scrimba? Scrimba uses its unique technology called Scrims for teaching. Let me show you what I mean. You might think this is just a standard tutorial video recording their editor, but if I pause the video, I can start typing directly into the editor which they call Scrim. You can see that I can edit the code and run it right from the Scrim. When I start typing, small notes called scribble appear. This shows where I made changes. This lets me review all my changes or continue editing from any point. The scribbles branch out like a Git commit system built into the editor, but without having to manage snapshots manually. Everything happens smoothly in the background. If I'm happy with my changes, I can hit play and the tutorial continues as if nothing happened. This functionality is what sets Scrimba apart from all the other online learning platforms. You don't need to open thousands of windows, copy and paste code into a separate IDE or sandbox environment. It's all integrated into one. 80% of the courses on Scrimba are now available for free. They also offer a paid version called Scrimba Pro, which includes various premium courses, such as the front-end developer career path, which they created in collaboration with Mozilla MDN. This course is designed to take people from having no knowledge to becoming fully hireable. To be honest with you, I'm sponsored for featuring them, but I do think that it's worth signing out and giving them a try since there are various free lessons available anyway. I've included my affiliate link below and hope to see you again. Bye bye.